from the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Talking Catholic. I'm Pete Sanchez, and Mike Walsh is here with me.
I am.
We're back in the vault.
We are.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good. I'm doing well.
We missed you down at the march on Friday. I had a good experience with just myself and Father Robert Hughes, the Vicar General of the Diocese, went down on Friday representing the Chancery's office. So we could meet and greet everybody who was coming up Constitution Avenue, or camped out like Bishop Sullivan is when every year preceding when he's been the bishop of the diocese. And it was great. I was thrilled to see so many people come through on a cold and snowy Friday morning to start, and afternoon by the time they reached us at Constitution in New Jersey. But it's a unique sort of event. I mean, it's a very serious topic, the right to life, and yet there's a joyousness about it, which I think emanates from so many Catholics being able to be together and to publicly express their faith and to be able to publicly advocate for an issue that's so important to not just the Catholic people, but people all over the world, and that's that right to life. But to be able to do it in to use a often obliterated phrase, safe space, to all come together and really proclaim that we got to take care of each other, including in utero. So you were missed. I didn't have it because I didn't have a spare set of hands. I wasn't able to do any videos while I was down there. I just only got a chance to take a couple of photographs of the groups as they were coming by. But next year we'll come with a bigger group so we can do a little more man on the street stuff like last year.
That's how we should get a news van.
Exactly, we should get a news van.
A Talking Catholic news van.
Yes. I have no doubt that we can get that. We'll get the Catholic Strong money to get us a news van.
Yes.
No, people who are listening, we will not do that. But I do like it as an idea.
Oh man, I'm just seeing that would be I love going down with the parishes. I really do, and I'm the youth groups over the years. But one thing I've really liked to do one year is spend the weekend in D.C.
I agree.
Find a hotel there and be there. Get there Friday, stay till. Well,
honestly, that's
in March. Yeah, it seems to be on a Friday.
It's always on. Well, it's
not always.
It didn't used to be. It used to be whenever the date of the anniversary landed on the week. However, in an effort to encourage more people to come, that's exactly what they did. They now have it on Fridays, hoping that people will stay the weekend. They have some other events on the front end and back end, to really fill out the time down there. So that had actually been my wife and son and I had hoped to do this past March, was to go down early or go down that day. They would march. I would hang up at the corner waiting to say hi to everybody, and then we'd spend time in town. However, then the shutdown hit, which was affecting all the museums, everything to do. So once again, we got to get government back on its feet, get stuff done so I can go to the museums.
Yeah,
that is my favorite thing about DC.
I think.
And on top of that, it was restaurant week in DC, which I didn't know until on the train ride back. And Father Hughes and I had to kill some time before our train, and we just ended up eating at Union Station, which is one of my favorite places on earth. 30th Street, Union Station, Penn Station. Love those three stations. Yeah. However, I would definitely have gone off a street or two if I had realized it was restaurant week.
Oh, Union Station. I was there once, and I remember I think I got pizza a few years ago.
Well, it's interesting. I hadn't taken the train down in a while, and maybe 4 or 5 years probably. They completely changed Union Station. It's all different. There's a Shake Shack in there now, which is always nice. They got rid of there used to be a restaurant in the center part of Union Station under the dome, and that's been taken out. Also, all the netting is finally down from when the earthquake hit 10 years ago, and that had screwed up the facade, so there were pieces falling off. So that was finally out of the way. So it looks gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's nice, big, and open. But the restaurants are now in a different part of the train station.
It's good to know. Yeah, it's only about a 3-hour ride from here.
Drive?
to take the train?
Hour and a half.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's
Well, hour and a half to 2, depending on if you take the Excella or the regional. But yeah, it's not bad. I love it. It's my favorite way to travel. Although it does preclude me stopping off on I-95 at least 6 times for Waffle House. But, I learned to deal with the pain.
You do miss the Waffle House if you take.
I constantly miss it. I go out of my way to find routes to places that swing by a Waffle House.
Really? See, that's me in Cracker Barrel.
Oh, sure.
I look for Cracker Barrels actively.
Yeah, but at least here in New Jersey, there are 2 Cracker Barrels within 20 minutes of where we are currently situated. And finding a Waffle House around here, you have to go to the Poconos, or you have to go to Elkton, Maryland, or Smyrna, Delaware. That's another one you can go to. And yes, that's right. I actually have those things back out in my head.
That is so cool, Mike. Mm-hmm. You can. Oh man, you should start an app, a Waffle House app.
I'm pretty sure they have that.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. That would be speaking of DC, we got an event coming up this Friday again for college students, ages 18 to 39. Thousands of college students and young adults will be gathering for a one-day Catholic festival at the Catholic University of America this Saturday, January 26th, to celebrate World Youth Day that's going on in Panama. We have Father Edward Friel and Father Anthony Infante from our diocese, leading a delegation of young adults from New Jersey. Are currently in Panama there for World Youth Day. I'll be there, I believe, for the next week. They'll be joining Pope Francis and others. But for those who couldn't make it to Panama, come on out this Saturday. There's going to be the coach bus is going to leave from Sicklerville, St. Charles Borromeo Church, 176 Stagecoach Road, leaving at 11 a.m. and it's returning around 11 p.m. There will be speakers, live music, streaming of Pope Francis in Panama, authentic Panamanian culture. And to reserve your spot, you can call Greg Coogan at 856-583-2908. Offering is $25, which includes transportation and a ticket to the event. I will be there, so come say hello. Let us know how Talking Catholic we're doing and how we can best serve the young adults in the diocese. So that is this Saturday, January 26th.
And, even though I wasn't able to do it at the March for Life, if you can do some video work and post it to the Star Herald social media while you're down, that'd be great, too.
Sure. I will have a fully charged phone for that.
Awesome. No, for the listener who may have just heard him bang his mug on the thing, it's a lovely monogram mug, but it does make a lot of noise in the headphones.
It is a mug that I got from the Collegium Center from Brenda Quinn, actually.
Very cool.
It has the scripture, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
It's very true.
And I'm glad he strengthened this table.
So it seems like he strengthened your arm to truly slam it down so that the mics can pick up on it. I like that.
All right, it was emphasis. I get thirsty, folks.
I hear you.
We talk a lot.
That's fine. I keep mine off the table, but that's okay. Whatever you want to do. I'm not bitter.
And then the lovely Franciscan Sisters of the Renewal once again are holding a First Saturday Reflection Day on Saturday, February 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. St. Michael's Church, 10 North Mississippi Avenue. If you've come to this before, you know that there's Mass, an inspiring talk by Franciscan Friar of the Renewal, free lunch in Quarumba Hall, adoration, confessions, music, rosary, Eucharistic healing service, and benediction. Woo! And I think our guest, who we will introduce shortly, was also, I've seen her in Atlantic City.
She has been there.
For these events.
True.
Yes, I have. It's beautiful.
And Donna Ottaviano Britt.
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to tell you that is my favorite screwed up pronunciation of her name. And it also allows me now to make 2 comments that I've been dying to make for a while.
I'm so sorry. I did not know.
It's Donna Ottaviano, who is delightful, by the way. But when I was first introduced to her, I was introduced to her via her married name, which is Britt, which I loved. I was like, oh, finally, I can just refer to somebody as Britt. I like a nice tight, hey, I was talking to Britt the other day, which I loved. And
you
then,
can still do, Mike.
I know, but now everybody knows who is Ottaviano. So if I say, I was talking to Britt the other day, they're going to go,
who?
Brittany?
I apologize.
Really, no worries.
That's okay. We didn't say it out loud.
It actually is a very nice pronunciation of my name. It has been pronounced every which way from Sunday since I was a kid, so it's fine.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something nice about the sisters?
I do. So actually, I saw Pete at their December 8th service, and it was really beautiful. I had not been to something they had done before over there, and it was really a wonderful way to spend that Marian feast day, was with them. Beautiful talk by a Franciscan. The healing service was beautiful, praying the rosary, and the music. Right, one of the sisters plays, and really, it was a very uplifting way. And it's what a nice way to really hit the beginning of Advent this year. So I would repeat that. Yeah. And I am a First Saturday girl with some of my first. I have a First Saturday sister, so we've been doing First Saturday devotions for about 2 years now, and we've actually considered going back when they start them again in February to spend our Saturdays that way.
That's what I'm thinking about going as well. So maybe I'll see you again there. And that is, and Mike, you should come out too. Bring the family.
I always say I'm going to go to these things because I really want to go to these things, and then I never go to these things. I feel like I should stop saying that I'm going to go to them, and maybe then I'll go to them.
I was just going to say, let's talk more action on this. You can call Sister Kiara and let her know, or don't, at 609-343-1545. No RSVP is necessary, though, but that's really if you want more information. Again, February 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at St. Michael Church in Atlantic City. And then 2 days after that, or should I say, well, the day after that, February 3rd, there'll be another meeting of the Priesthood Discernment Group if you're currently a junior or senior in high school, college student, or in the professional world, up to 39 years old. And you're curious, if you feel maybe in your heart that God is calling you to the priesthood, come to this group, which can help you discern and pray with others who are also considering the priesthood. This is going on for the next 3 months, February 3rd. It's always on a Sunday, Hearing the Voice of God. That is February 3rd. And then March 3rd, the 7 stages of a diligent discernment. And April 7th, practical ideas for discerning the priesthood. And these all take place from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Our Lady of Peace Parish at 32 Carroll Avenue in Williamstown, New Jersey. Sponsored by the Office of Vocations. Go to camdenpriest.org for more information. Again, the next one's February 3rd, Hearing the Voice of God. Mike, we're back in, actually right across the parking lot here. We have the beautiful Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception.
Gorgeous.
And they do every Wednesday. This is really cool. They started a Cathedral Speaker Series. And the next one's going to be February 6th, 2019. They're all at 7 p.m. And the guest speaker this time will be Dr. Paul Kettle. He's a psychiatrist for 38 years. He specializes in geriatric psychiatry. And he works at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Philadelphia. And he teaches medical students at UPenn. So this will also be going on for a few months in March, April, and May as well. So come on out at 7 p.m. Cathedral Hall at 624 Market Street in Camden. And Mike, I'm excited. I've talked to you about this and also to our listeners. I'm currently in the dinner theater.
No, everyone, you can tune out for this section if you want. No, just kidding. I'm sorry. No, it's good. I like it when you self-promote. It's nice.
It's a shameless plug.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it, but I think it's nice that you do. Well, I think that's good. You're taking advantage of an opportunity. It's very nice.
Well, I just want to acknowledge the great work that the dinner theater troupe does, and the cast and the crew who put this all together. So we've been practicing since September on this play called "If the Good Lord Is Willing and the Creek Don't Rise," and it's
if the creep doesn't rise.
The
creek. I'm sorry. I apologize. I really thought you said creep. I was like, wow, that's a really kind of strange choice of title. But
that is the Creek version is the 7 p.m. one. The Creep one is the 11 p.m. version, the after hours.
That makes sense.
Doing. No, but this is going to be Valentine's Day weekend, so come on out. You'll get a great deal, great dinner, and night of laughter. So bring your special Valentine to a fun night out. We have Saturday, February 16th, unfortunately, sold out. But we still have Friday, February 15th, dinner's at 6:30, the curtain's at 7:30. And Sunday, February 17th, dinner at 1 p.m., curtain at 2 p.m. Mater Ecclesiae Church at the Bishop DiMarzio Hall, 261 Cross Keys Road in Berlin, New Jersey. Tickets are just $25 each. Call Kathy DiLoretto at 856-596-7627 for your tickets.
And what dates were those again?
It is Friday, February 15th. And Sunday, February 17th.
Okay.
So tickets are going fast. So get them now, and it'll be fun. And don't bring tomatoes.
And what are you performing as in the?
I don't want to say too much, but I can say is I'm a
Central character?
I'm a supporting player, I'll say, but I do I play a theater student.
Oh, okay.
A theater student practicing literature, I'll say. So it's a funny.
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
Maybe I'll have to go, Mike.
Nope, but I am intrigued. I'll wait. I'll read the reviews when they come out.
That's the.
If it's made into a movie, I'll watch that.
Well, it's a farce. It'll be funny. Oh, and it's BYO, so you can bring wine, you can bring beer if you want.
During the performance, you can drink.
Yeah.
Ooh, I take it back. I might be interested again.
Yeah. No, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. I've done it for the past couple of years. I've had the privilege. Very talented cast and talented crew who built the stage, dedicated professionals, and I'm still pinching myself that I'm able to do this. So I'm just.
Well, that's awesome.
It should, yeah. So come on out and let me know how bad or how good I don't know. We'll see. It'll be. We have a few weeks. We have a few weeks to screw it up. No, but and then also we got the Diocesan Youth Congress coming up at the. This is every year. This is going to be at the Assumption Regional Catholic School, Our Lady Perpetual Help Parish, on Saturday, March 2nd, from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Galloway, New Jersey, 146 South Pitney Road. Missionary Discipleship in You is the name of the conference. So, and also it's open to teens in grades 8 through 12. And I've been covering this every year, and this is such a great event for youth to come on out. I believe if memory holds, there'll be talks, there'll be adoration, there'll be mass, and it's just a beautiful experience. So call Greg Coogan at 856-583-2908 for more information. And as always, all these events are found at camdendiocese.org. On the right-hand side, there's a calendar. So, and let us know too if you have anything we want to promote.
Yeah, we love, as you've proven, that we really enjoy promoting stuff, like our own stuff from time to time.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's good. So, Pete,
I would have wanted to promote something if you were in it, Mike.
I wouldn't promote something if I didn't want to promote the 100th episode, because I'm not a self-promoter. I really promoted it as you and all of our wonderful guests. That's it had nothing to do with me. I was pushed into service at the March for Life to do a radio interview. And the person who pushed into service, I glared back at them and said, "You understand? I'm the puppeteer, not the puppet. I like to hang back and watch other people do this stuff. I'll set them up. They hit them out of the park. That is not what my role in the life is. However, we do have. So how can I start this story about who we have on the podcast today? So about a year and a half ago, I got saddled with this person.
Wow.
Oh my.
Bold word.
Oh
saddled.
my. Saddled.
Wow.
I mean, you have no idea.
Should advance our relationship sizably, Mike. It should.
No, I got saddled with the responsibility of helping to put together something that has never been done in the diocese before. And by I'm saying saddled lovingly.
Sure.
No, I did. Well, when it's over, I'm sure I'll think of it lovingly. So the diocese, for the first time ever, is having a convocation of Catholic leaders, where we're inviting 10 Catholic leaders and the pastor from each parish in the diocese to attend an event that is a recreation of something that a number of us attended in Florida in 2017. If you go back through the list of the podcasts, we actually have a dedicated podcast to it was called the Convocation of Catholic Leaders, The Joy of the Gospel. And it took place in Florida. It was great. There was a delegation of 26 that went down to it. And when we came back, we were like trying to figure out how to bring that energy back to the people, how to bring everything that we had seen and touched upon back to the people, so that the people of the diocese could be equally inspired to go forward and do more, to re-energize and to increase the abilities of the parishes within this diocese. So I have a background in events planning, and I was tasked with helping to formulate the logistics around it. What I am no good at is actually creating something that anyone would want to come to. Like, I can make it look nice and make sure all the place settings are in the right place. But in terms of helping people understand what the joy of the gospel is, and in our case, what missionary discipleship is, I'm happy to say that Bishop Sullivan and Father Hughes happened across someone who is far more talented than I, and it happens to be our guest today, Donna Ottaviano, who, unlike me, who is dead inside, is full of the vim and vigor of the faith, and really wants to bring, even as a non-attendee to the Florida trip, I mean, it really has embraced the notion of this convocation, has run with it, has been meeting with pastors and delegations from as many of the parishes you can get to help them sort of ready themselves for this convocation that's going to take place from March 25th to the 28th this year. So with that intro, Donna, what were you thinking?
What I'm thinking is I'm so glad this is on tape, so I have that introduction, because Mike harangues me weekly in our weekly steering committee meetings.
They go on forever and ever and ever?
They do not. They do not. Today you got
I got 10 whole minutes back. It was awesome.
I was here when he tried locking you in the vault that one time.
Right, so this is a very interesting
peace.
Space, this vault, really. I like it best if the door is open, and Mike, I get to sort of camp out in here sometimes when it's empty to do some work. But I'm okay with the door closed today because the two of you are here with me. So I'm good.
That's a rarity.
That's a rarity.
Okay.
But
most people do not like being trapped in confined areas, at least with me. I don't know about Pete, but with me.
Right.
So this is unusual.
I feel a little safer, though. Like, I might survive. The two of you are in here with that door closed and it accidentally
Pete's here.
locks
You'll be
somehow.
fine.
But that was a very nice introduction, Mike. Thanks.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, I'm glad it's taped.
I told you, it's all about being authentic. I am authentically saddled with this, but so thrilled you are here to do the hard job.
Saddled.
No, it's going to be great. I get like that. I get like that with all events. I get freaked out by events. So even though I have
you don't
a
look it though. You're always very calm and smooth, and you keep telling me to rely on the Holy Spirit, like Father Hughes does.
Yeah.
So
well, hey,
that's what we
listen.
do.
He convinced me. This was something that it's come up a couple of times here in the diocese. Having come from the business world, we never had the ability to rely on the Holy Spirit, at least uttering the name publicly.
Correct.
In our jobs, and I came here, and it's like, okay, it's okay, Mike. The Holy Spirit's on our. You can say, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, that's
it's not all
okay.
that self-reliance.
Right.
Right.
And it actually does make a difference. It actually does bring me a great deal of peace. But that being said, what is it that we're creating on the 25th to the 28th?
We, cooperating with the Holy Spirit and the Blessed Mother, and we are fully cooperating, creating really what is a catalyst to spiritual renewal and the refreshment of the church. So you've already commented on Bishop Sullivan and a delegation from here going to the National Convocation in 2017. And what I would say about that, which Bishop has shared, is, not really sure what that convocation would be like. And he loved every single minute of it. And so how I characterize this convocation now is really a beautiful, loving spiritual gift from a shepherd who loves us. So he's fully engaged in bringing this same experience to the Diocese of Camden and making sure that we are the same way the Catholic Strong campaign gives us financial strength as a diocese. The Convocation of Catholic Leaders will build our spiritual strength into the future.
I think that's an excellent way of putting that.
Mm-hmm. That's really how I view it. The two things go together. They're definitely interwoven. But to Bishop Sullivan's credit, I mean, if you look at what this event is going to be, and you've given some of the details, right? All the pastors all the parishes are bringing delegations with them. So these are lay leaders from within the parishes, and they've been launched on a journey already. So they have some reading to do. They have several meetings to have. So they're reading Chris Lowney's book, Everyone Leads.
A great book.
So Mike, might find the book a little bit dry, but it's a magnificent book.
It's not that it's dry. Hey, listen, I think it's a great book. And I having read, I'm up to 79 whole pages at this point.
You need to go further, Mike.
No, hold on, wait. No, actually, it really is a really good book. It's just that so I've been joking around with with Donna that I keep telling her I hate the book. And the truth of the matter is I don't hate the book. I think it's actually an extremely useful book, and I see why the diocese and yourself and the USCCB, who first had Chris Lowney as a presenter at the Convocation in 2017. I mean, I think a lot of our, he looks in his writings, he thinks we've sort of made some errors in the manner in which we A, manage our parishes, and B, more importantly, utilize the talent that exists in our parishes. And what he wants to do is break down a lot of those silos that exist in parishes so that there can be a flourishing within them by really tilling the soil of the people that we already have with us. So that's step one, is how do we get our own people, our own Catholics in the pews to realize not only do they have skin in this game, but in many respects, they may be the salvation of the church. Christ is our salvation, but when we talk about parishes and dioceses and the Catholic Church globally, it's those people in the pews that will be so important.
Mike, you've learned a lot from that book so far.
What did I tell you? Listen,
exactly.
I complain about everything, but I pay attention. But that's actually sort of a companion piece to sort of. Okay, so we're going to teach you. We're hoping that we're going to be able to teach parishioners how to do this, but that only works if it's married to the second part of the convocation, which is a sense of missionary discipleship. Yeah. That we have to go beyond the walls of the church. We can no longer be insulated, and that we instead we need to go out to the peripheries, whatever those peripheries that may be: spiritual peripheries, physical peripheries, cultural peripheries. That it has to be more than just sitting in our churches on Sundays and hoping that the pastor gives the short sermon and not the long one, homily, right? Not sermon.
We have to do more than that. So I think you've captured that very nicely in terms of what Chris kind of serves up around how we need to think about change. So there's a couple of, I would say, anchored elements to the convocation. And one you've touched on, right, are the talents. Mm-hmm. So the church doesn't even know what all of its talents are and where they sit. Imagine what it would be like, because the church literally has everything she needs to renew, to go out to the periphery, to be the mission hospital. If we could just figure out how to unleash that. Mm-hmm. Everybody has giftedness. Each and every one of us has been gifted with certain things that help the church. And who's the church? It's the mystical body of Christ, right? These are our brothers and sisters, the ones that are with us and the ones that don't know they should be with us, right? So thinking about that. So part of it is being able to recognize that there is tremendous giftedness within the church. The second piece of it is, which Pope Benedict had talked about a lot, was co-responsibility, right? This convocation is really a call to the laity. The laity has been called for some time. The laity is co-responsible for our faith with our pastors, with our clergy. So we share in the responsibility of the church. And then the third piece of it is, what do we need to do in order to be the mission hospital? So if you think about what Pope Francis talks about in terms of being the mission hospital, right? He talks about missionary discipleship, and the delegations now are in this pre-phase of convocation of learning kind of what the fundamental building blocks are of missionary discipleship. And essentially there's four pieces, 4 blocks. One is encounter, right? Think about what your own encounter is with Jesus. And think about, because I think it's true, that many of us, even who are Catholics, who are devoted Catholics, where's our one-on-one relationship with Jesus? Where's that encounter? And then how do we enable that for others? The second element is really around accompaniment. How do we bring the heart of Jesus to other people, moment and time? Wherever it is they may be suffering, wherever it is they have need, how do we meet them there? The third element, creating community. How inviting are we? How welcoming are we? I recently saw a cartoon that shows inside of a church, and it's a lady introducing herself to a couple, and she's saying, "Oh, you're new here, and you're in my pew." Right? So we want to think about and take a look at kind of how welcoming and inviting are we. So those are the first 3. And then the last element is send. And that is, if we are disciples, right? And what does disciple mean? Love, follow Jesus. But if you're a missionary, you take his message out. So think about send in terms of transformed lives, transform other lives. So it's kind of like the spirituality of Jesus, right? If you differentially, pour your spirit into others, they then will pour their spirits into others. And it's really this moment and Bishop's commitment to this convocation that we will figure out how to do this. So this is not about a program. This is about us being set on fire by the Holy Spirit with a missionary discipleship spirit so that we will go forward and we will engage the culture and we will renew the church.
Now, Pete, as you might have heard me say before, I thought it was really important that as someone who has a black heart to bring in someone who really understands what might resonate with the people in the pews, and that's where Donna came in handy. Donna, I didn't do a good job of really saying who you are, other than the fact that you're leading up.
Just that you prefer to call me by a different name.
Yeah, hey Britt.
Yeah.
Because that's your last name.
Right.
What is your title related to the diocese?
So I'm the director of the Office of Missionary Discipleship, which is relatively new. It's only been around for 10 months, which indicates I've only been here for 10 months, which my steering committee, of which Mike is a part, no longer allows me to say that I'm new here.
No, you're not.
No, not new, right? So if what you want is a smidgen of my background, I'll tell a little bit of my story around how I got here. Is that what you want?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I would share is...
You're walking along, quite literally.
I'm walking along, quite literally. So I did meet a number of people from the diocese. So shout out to my own home parish, St. Maximilian Colby in Marmora. So I've been doing quite a number of things there for the last couple of years. Love my home parish. And have had the tremendous grace and gift to be able to do all of our summer retreats leading up to our feast day. So I was very happy doing those things. Little did I know that I would have an opportunity to come to work for the diocese. So how that happened. So Mike referenced my previous business experience. So I spent 30 years working for a pharmaceutical company. And I did lots of things working for them. It really was a tremendously good experience for me. But what happened was with, unforeseen things, that career came to an end in Holy Week of last year. That job came to an end. That 30-year run came to an end on Good Friday. So I often refer to it as Holy Week, and I've had a few clergy say to me, "You sure it wasn't Passion Week?" Right, as I lose a job, right, that I was accustomed to having for a long time. On Holy Thursday, I was offered this position. So it clearly indicates to me that Jesus has a very big sense of humor. Is that I would come and work for his church.
And excellent timing.
And I have been delighted in every moment, nearly, except when I engage with Mike from time to time, but it's my cross to bear.
Oh, you feel that way too?
Oh, I do.
Hey, man, you think you're the only one that gets it? I am an equal opportunity naughty person.
I was going to say you are an equal opportunity offender.
Let's go with that. I was going to choose a word that begins with B, but all right, offender will work too.
Wow, that's a beautiful... You did, you kind of like a phoenix. You kind of rose from the ashes.
I certainly rose out of those corporate ashes, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how's your time been here? What has your work been like? You seem to hit the ground running. I mean, every time you're just always on the go, but you're perfect because I see you and you're always joyful and... You're just...
That is infuriating. You're right, Pete. She is always joyful.
Did you hear Pete? He said he used the words perfect to describe me, Mike. So
don't worry.
You'll be well suited to remember that.
Yes. Right? Oh, I picked up on that.
Well, you're just hit the ground running.
I have tried to bedevil her and make her angry or make her cry, do something. No, she is so full of the Holy Spirit. She's like, I got it. We're going to be fine.
He was making fun of my spreadsheets this morning in a meeting. My color coding. I just roll with it. It's the best way to handle Mike. You just kind of roll. And you find a way to get back at him.
That too.
That's right.
That's true.
Can I tell you, he's talking about the March for Life. So he and I are having a text conversation while he's on the train.
Oh, God.
And so I had written him an email, too, which he was also checking. And I said, something about, well, no wonder you work for the diocese, something that sounded that he misconstrued as a compliment. So he
That's right. Yes, that's right.
He texted me back. He says, I am something like insusceptible. I am not susceptible to compliments.
Oh, to flattery. Yeah.
To flattery. I'm like, I just wrote back, I didn't mean a word of it.
And you know what I thought? I was like, this is a girl who gets me. I understand that. Yep.
But to what you're asking me, Pete, my time here in the almost a year now that I've been here has been remarkable, right? So what was my first thing was to, if I was very blessed, I would create some credibility with this beautiful steering committee that was put together to plan the convocation, because they all kind of knew each other or really knew each other. I was sort of the odd man out. No one knew me. So to earn their trust, that I would be somewhat capable of being able to sort of lead us in terms of creating this event. And they're a remarkably talented team. Marianella, who was referenced earlier, is on the team. Patty Howen. Deacon Anthony CO is on this team. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So Claudia Tranny Malgar is on this team. And it's just, and Rosalie Miranda.
Yes. Father Robert Hughes. At the very beginning, Michael Jordan Lasky was on.
He was with us. He was very helpful,
That he ditched just for the Jesuits.
He most certainly did, and left us with a sizable chunk of work.
Yeah.
But
hate that guy.
It has been a remarkable experience, right? To really now be, to Mike's point earlier, like, you're allowed to talk about the Holy Spirit in this work, right? And if we collaborate with the Holy Spirit, the right things will happen. And that's what we believe about this convocation, is that it was never to be about us. It was to be entrusting this entire moment to the Blessed Mother and the Holy Spirit, so that this will be as fruitful as Jesus would have it. And really, I spent my entire summer and into the early fall trying to meet all of our very busy pastors, who all made time for me, to really let me come and talk to them about the convocation. I could have written them a really long email, and who wants those? So they gave me time so that I can come in and really just kind of talk through what this convocation is expected, to do, and their role in it. And they've really done a remarkably wonderful job in terms of engaging their delegations, because I'm talking to delegates now with great frequency, right? As we get closer to the delegation, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of the unknown. We have to be comfortable with that. Yeah. And we're going to try things, and some things will fail, and we'll just have to figure out how to move on rapidly from those things. But this is about going forward and doing what Christ has asked us to do, which is to love and to serve. That's the mission.
So let's talk about the convocation itself just a little bit. Okay. So it's really almost a 3-stage program. There's pre-work for the delegations to do, sort of a teeing them up for the convocation. There's the convocation itself, and there's what we're hoping will come from the convocation. So can you talk a little bit about the pre-work?
Sure. So the delegations are just starting. So we referenced the book earlier. So some folks read that before Christmas. Some of them are reading it now. And that's really Chris drives the point around its leadership, right? And it's the laity. Wherever you sit in the church, you hold a leadership role. But what we want to do is to allow all of the lay leaders to come into the convocation and understand, what does missionary discipleship mean? And so they're doing a little reading on that, right, from the Living as a Missionary Disciple, which is actually a publication that was written post the National Convocation. And so they're reading from that. They have a number of things to discuss as a team, as a leadership team, as a delegation. They will look closely at their own parishes, right? They'll look at the strengths of their parishes. They'll look at the opportunities of their parishes, where their parishes are weak maybe and they need to bolster. And then by the time they get to right up before the convocation, they will have created a missionary discipleship plan, if you will, for their parishes. Wonderful. And they'll bring that with them to the convocation. So that's sort of the, step one. And then they'll come to the convocation. And again, if we have done our job well and collaborated well with the Holy Spirit and the Blessed Mother, they will be fed by we have 5 keynote speakers that are coming in to share their experiences and what they've learned in their service to the church. And that's really about what needs they saw that needed to be filled. And that's really what we're trying to do, right? Is what needs are there that our brothers and sisters have to have somebody step to the plate and aid them, right? And bring them in. And so there's 5 keynote sessions. There are 45 workshops. They're coming, and look, the keynote speakers and the leaders of these workshops, they're coming from around the country. So here's the thing that I would like to say about this convocation and my engagement with our speakers and workshop leaders. They're so excited about this. There's not, so far, not a diocese in the country that's doing what Bishop is doing by replicating that entire national convocation at the diocesan level. They are so delighted to be a part of this. So if we have fed the spirits of our pastors and our lay leaders through, these 5 keynote speakers, every delegate will get a chance to go through 3 workshops, 3 of the 45. And we really do want all the delegates to kind of fan out across those to get as much, to be as fed in as many categories as possible. We also have 3 very exciting worship services that will happen in the evening. So we have Valmar Jansen coming on that Monday night. And she's a musician storyteller. And that will be the Feast of the Annunciation. Perfect. So I have a bit of a Marian worship service on Monday night. Tuesday night is the CFRs out of Atlantic City, along with their co-founder, Father Glenn, coming in to lead us in a Eucharistic worship service. And then Wednesday night's a little bit of a surprise, a little praise and worship going on. So we have a lot of things to happen. And then on the last day, actually the last keynote speaker will be Chris Lowney, the author of the book. And he'll talk to us about the importance of being a leader wherever you sit in the church and this whole concept of co-responsibility, and then helping us to think about those parish plans we brought to the convocation, because all the parish delegations will go into a workshop after that and pull those out and go, okay, does it still hold? Or after everything that we were nourished with this week, does that plan change? And so that's what they'll think about on the last day, and they'll go home to their home parishes, hopefully sharing broadly what they were exposed to, and think about how the rest of the laity in the parish comes along on this journey. Because this is really a journey, right? So if we think about what the delegates are doing now, right, they're on a journey in their pre-work, and then they'll move into the convocation. But they have a big responsibility when they go home, is to share broadly what their experience was, so parishes will figure out how to do that. And then what does missionary discipleship look like? And it'll look possibly 62 different ways across our diocese.
That's exciting, to think that we're kind of carrying on the tradition of, it sounds a little, I don't mean for it to sound low prideful, but we're carrying on the tradition of the apostles and St. Paul, who was they were all on fire for the Lord. People like St. Ignatius of Loyola, St. Francis of Assisi, the saints who were engaged in the evangelization and discipleship. They traveled across the world to evangelize, to talk about the saving power of Christ, and bolstered by the Holy Spirit. And I love that is something that Bishop Sullivan has decided to do here, and had that foresight and, be a trailblazer right now for this. This is what we need.
He's totally a trailblazer. But I'm going to anchor back to what you just said, Pete, because it's often what I'll say when I talk to the delegations. So some of the pastors have invited me to come and speak to their teams. We are exactly as the first century Christians were. The mission hasn't changed. Our tools may have changed, but the mission remains the same, to love and to serve.
I couldn't put it better myself. We're called to go forth and set the world on fire. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that
Can I just serve? Do I have to?
Oh, no, you have to love, Mike. That black heart of yours is going to have to learn how to love. I don't... Self-described as black heart.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking forward. I hope to be there for a few days.
I can pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
No, I'll work for you, Pete.
It's going to be quite an undertaking. We didn't talk about too much about the logistics of it, but it's being held at Harrah's Conference Center in Atlantic City. We have the entire upper floor of their conference center, 30 rooms overall to be used. We're expecting anywhere from 600 to 800 attendees. There'll be plenary sessions each day. There'll be workshops that ring the plenaries each day, about anywhere from 15 to 19, depending on... we're still working out the agenda, but somewhere around there.
Mass every day, reflections
Beautiful.
Confessions.
at night. I mean, it's confessions, also adoration. So, it's going to be, and it's a fully packed day. It's, for any of the delegates who are thinking, and for anybody in the diocese who's thinking, oh, somebody's getting a free ride to Atlantic City for 4 days. Yeah, that building may have a casino in it, but I'm not expecting any of our delegates to be able to spend much time there unless they are night owls and plan to be there around 3 a.m. Because it's a full day. I mean, we're starting at, 8:30 a.m. every day?
Right, so we start Monday the 25th, and we begin at 2. And then
Well, that's good. Yeah, because we're letting people get to the
we're letting
hotel
them travel
and-
in, right? Travel in, make sure that, they grab some lunch before they show up. But we'll start at 2. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we start at 8:30 with morning prayer. Keynote start at 9. So those are some very full days. And then on the third day, it's close to half a day. We've done by 1.
Yeah.
Probably.
And one of the reasons we chose this facility is because it's actually the only one in South Jersey that, first of all, it's the newest conference center, which is nice. Most people, I don't think will care one way or the other. But for me, I know that all the logistics are going to be great. The sound's going to be great. The lighting's going to be great. Everything's going to work. It's going to smell good. I mean, seriously, it's I think it opened in 2015. But it's also very self-contained. So it's going to be a very, tight experience where we're all going to be together in one form or another. The hotel rooms are a short walk from the conference center. It's off the boardwalk, so we won't lose anyone to the boardwalk area. A lot of thought went into it. It wasn't we just chose a casino someplace within the diocese. There are actually for a group this size, there are very few places that could hold this kind of facility and do it in the way that we're hoping is going to really inspire people to be fully invested, to be fully present for this convocation.
I'm excited for the fruits of it. We'll see them over a number of years.
We think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think so.
We're kind of with the Catholic Strong campaign right now. We're also doing. We got a lot of good things coming up, and that will, seeds are planted. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
going to bloom. It's going to be amazing.
By the time this kicks off, it'll have taken us almost 2 years to go from the experience in Florida to being able to actually kick it off here in South Jersey. Yeah, but it's great, and everyone we've met that's been a part of it. The speakers that we have lined up are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The workshops, I think they were designed to be robust and fairly broad, so that everyone would have something to be interested in. And we're encouraging that the delegations don't sort of clump together as human nature would have it. We've asked each person from each delegation to make sure they're going to a different workshop, so that delegation gets the full effect, or as full an effect as possible from what the convocation has to offer.
Should be. Well, if we can step back for a bit, we talked about the convocation, but Donna, now I want to talk about you. Learn a little bit more about you. So, are you from South Jersey?
No, actually, Philly girl, born and raised.
Philly, really?
Yeah, born and raised.
Talk about your faith. How did that...
Wait, hold on. Where in Philly?
Northeast.
Ugh,
I went to Cardinal Doherty High School.
I did know that. I went to the prep, St. George prep.
Yep, I went to Cardinal Doherty High School, went on to go to Temple, went to college there. Met my husband there. We've lived there, but we live in Ocean City now. So in 2001, we bought a little condo down there. We just running back and forth for a bunch of years. But in 2013, the job that I had taken with my previous company, I was covering the whole northeast part of the country. So they didn't care where I lived, as long as I lived in it somewhere. So I'm like, that's it, honey, we're leaving. We're leaving Philly. We're going to go to Ocean City. So that's where we've lived. But if you're asking me a faith question, one of the things I would tell you is if my mother was sitting here, she would tell you I was a holy kid. I was a holy child, very close to the Blessed Mother and Jesus. And so when I was 10, I did a book report on St. Therese of Lisieux. Who doesn't love her, right? So I fell madly in love with her, and I we going to be here. Where is she? She's in here. There's a statue of her. She's right here in the vault. Mm-hmm. So see, I get to talk about her.
Where did she come? When did
we get St. Therese in here?
I really don't remember when that appeared.
Well, that has been next to the TV for a while, and today I was like, let's move her. So we elevated her. Literally, we elevated her.
All right.
See, and I get a chance to talk about her. I get a chance to talk about her.
Yes, perfect. So continue about St. Therese.
Yeah, so I've been close to her my whole life, but at 10, I was going to be here. I was going to Carmelite Monastery, and then when I was 14, I discovered boys and cigarettes, and that whole monastery thing came to an end. But I still loved her to this day. But I really think, if you look at the way, God does an amazing job telling everybody's story, right? He's either a weaver and he's pulling all the threads together, or God has a pen and he's writing this beautiful story of your life, the good parts, the sad parts. Or if he's an artist, right? He's got the brush and he's painting this beautiful story of your life. You just have to be looking at it, right? So if I look at different moments over my life where I've come close to God, where I've stepped back from God, there's a number of years ago now where if I were going to continue to, thrive as a human being, I was going to need to be very close to him. So it was briefly, without a lot of detail, like an 18-day window, a series of, very bad tragedies. And you're like, on that 18th day, I found myself laying on my kitchen floor, literally on the kitchen floor. It was the death of my brother, my only sibling. And I thought, well, Jesus, I got to get somewhere. I got to get to my mom. So kindly get me up. And if you do, I promise I'll wash this floor at some point, And it was a series of things that had happened over that was in 2011. So over the series of a couple years, I was like, okay, help me live a holy life. And that's what I asked for. Help me live a holy life. And help me to be in love with you. I have met people who are in love with you. So black-hearted Mike, you can't even imagine this, can you?
No, but it does tell me that I still have a shot. All right.
Well, I feel that's interesting because I consider myself, St. Augustine is my patron saint, mainly because I have a restless heart like him. Mm-hmm. I'm always searching for... And, you talk about, I love that you have that desire because I have that desire too. And I'm always trying to draw closer to the Lord. It is tough. It is tough. Like, I don't want to give it all to him, but I know I need to. Like, mm-hmm. there's a part of me that knows I need to just surrender. But I don't know. I don't know what is holding me back. What was holding you back?
I think a real understanding of how much I needed relationship with Jesus, right? I mean, I'm cradle Catholic. So, Jesus was always there. Jesus, someone I prayed to, went to Mass most Sundays of my life, all of those things. But relationship, to really be close to him, to really visualize myself, the way I'm sitting across from you, Pete, across these two chairs, is the way I needed to sit across from him. He is my friend. He will help me through anything. Through the good times, through the sad times, through the desolate times. He is always there. He has always been there. I love my humans, but sometimes my humans aren't there. He is always there. He calls me to be a better person.
I love how you say that because I'll just say it's been, you talk about love your humans. Not all the time, but I feel like sometimes God wants me to spend time with others and not take, but every now and then I'm like, no, I should probably take time for myself and be with him in that solitude. Mm-hmm. But it's so hard, because I feel like, I want to be a good son, good godfather, but it's tough, I'm still working on that authentic friendship with the Lord.
I think it will always be a work in progress, though. I don't know that any of us will ever achieve it. Maybe. I don't know. Did St. Augustine ever finally get there? True, beautiful friendship. Did he still struggle? I know he was a big old sinner for a long time.
I think
St. Ignatius is my guy. So, they say he broke all 10 commandments.
Oh.
Before his conversion. I love him. I love Ignatian spirituality. There's a simple and practicality to it. So look, if they can get there, we can get there too. That's what I figure. It gives me hope, right?
Yeah, and I love St. Ignatius. I was Jesuit educated, mm-hmm. So I saw him. He got, he broke his leg. He was very vain, and he broke his leg in battle, and started reading the lives of the saints, and that changed his world. And the same thing with Augustine. I forget, it was a lot of the prayers of his mother. I think family prayers help.
Absolutely.
But I'm drawn to those types of conversion stories. It's very, very, we can get there.
Sure.
I mean, I hope I can get there. They're wonderful.
We're the faith of hope, right? That's what we do.
What did you say?
We're the faith of hope.
We're the faith of hope.
Yeah. We have hope. There's always hope.
And what is it? I think it was Bishop Robert Barron. He said, faith, hope, and love. At the end of our lives, there will be, if we're in heaven, there will only be love, because we won't need faith anymore. We'll know he's there. Right. And we won't need hope because we'll be with him. Mm-hmm. But love will remain. It's just, I don't know. I that's comforting. But I have a lot of work to do.
And all of us do. Hence the convocation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Hence the convocation, so that we can...
Coming back.
Did I help that kind of circle us back?
I love it.
Right? because it's what I know best how to talk about right now. But I mean, that's really part of it, is to love one another and to be with each other in our needs and to journey with each other. And how do we do it? And not everything would be easy for all of us. You know, all the different parish delegations. I mean, to some, it may be like, wow, there's an awful lot to do. And there is. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So little bits and little bits. I think everybody in a parish has to think about not to be overwhelmed by this, to be lifted up by this, and just think your frame of reference is how different will our parish be a year from the convocation? Mm-hmm. That's your measure.
Yeah.
You know, that's your measure. How will we be different? How will we be better? How will we be making other people's lives better? And how will we be better?
I think that was beautiful. I think you can just send this podcast as the pre-work for all of your parishes.
And we're all done?
And then I think
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Well, maybe I'll send it out.
There you go.
Maybe I'll send it
that's
out.
That's an idea. No. I think you hit all the nails on the head. Although I am curious, you know, we're gonna wrap up in a couple of minutes. A topic came up, Pete, at one of our meetings recently, and a couple of people had reported hearing the same thing from someone. I'm curious from sort of like your perspective on what I'm about to say. Someone was asked to do something, and they said, well, let me pray on it before I get back to you. And to which my immediate reaction was, do people actually do that? Do people actually pray about things before they make a decision to do things? And I'm saying this with all sincerity. Now, I pray I think as much as anybody else. I'm terrible at prayers, but I pray. I usually pray thankfully. I don't necessarily pray for things. I've often prayed for insight, but I've never done it through a specific thing. Like I've never prayed about. I don't know. I just.
Did you have to pray to discern to take this job?
I don't think I did. I had to pray that my wife wasn't going to murder me when I took this job because I took one hell of a pay cut to come here.
Oh, yes.
But
Yep.
no, I didn't, because it seemed so perfect that I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to do it. If we can make things work out, why wouldn't I? I don't know, Pete. Would you say you pray before making a decision?
Well, I do. It depends on the situation. You know, now I feel guilty because after this talk with Donna, I feel like every decision I make should try to be, you know, prayed on with God. And when I say that, I mean, I try to discern what God wants for me in my life and how I should be acting. So would that mean maybe God wants me to talk to somebody about something or this or that? But I have heard people talk about before they take a job or before they, you know, a certain task, let me pray on it. I have heard that phrase before. I don't think I've heard it before. But just, well, I think if you're asking me what it means, I think it's just something just some people feel compelled to, you know, do. You know, I think we all desire
Wisdom, yeah. Well, I would agree with that.
and I think, you know, when people pray on it, they're obviously wanting to know if that's really what God wants them to do, and how they're going to do it, and they ask for help, they ask for strength.
Yeah, see that I could sort of understand, because I mean, oftentimes, you know, have found myself praying the Merton prayer but it's always in the middle of something, like particularly as things are becoming either more difficult or I come to a sudden realization that, you know, there is no perfect answer, or it's, Pete, you might get this reference, it becomes a Kobayashi Maru moment where there is there is no perfect answer. There's no way you're going to get away with it unless you're Captain Kirk and you cheat. So like in moments like that, like I'll do the Thomas Merton prayer, or as we talked about with Father John. Why can't I remember?
John Thomas?
No, across the street.
John Fisher?
Father John Fisher. Sorry, Father John. You know, who taught us the prayer right before he goes out and does anything. He says this short little prayer that they would say at Father Judge. And what was it called? The prayer of intention. The prayer of intention, which is great. But it just got me when I heard it, and you know, as Donna has often pointed out, my dark soul, like I literally was wondering if somebody was just using that as a dodge to not answer a question right away. Like I really needed to give this person 24 hours so they could pray about it, as opposed to just tell me yes or
Decide.
no. Yeah.
Well, I don't know this person, so I can't say yes or no.
No, I'm just
that,
curious.
Yeah, I would hope that they, when they sit around, that they would take active steps to discern, whether God was calling them. And I know, and I try to pray. What the thing I've tried to do, and I fail at this, is to pray every day unceasingly. I seem like I when things are good, I lose sight of God. I'm kind of just doing my thing, and then when things happen, it's like, oh God, I need you. Then I fall back on Him. Is that do you any of you two know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure I do.
Sure.
Yeah. The one thing I would do, I say every morning, is the morning prayer of consecration, where I give the entire day, to Jesus through Mary, so that everything in this day is for you. So I feel like I'm covered. I pray that before my feet hit the floor in the morning. So I have prayed that. So that's what I do, just to kind of, start my day. I try and get a rosary in every day, but I offer the whole day. Prayers, works, joys, and sufferings are all of yours for your good. God works all things to the good, all of them.
Yeah. For it's like the Ignatian ideal, ad majorem Dei gloriam, for the greater glory of God.
Right.
I think about that.
And Ignatius, too, would also say, is what you're trying to decide. You have to look at it. Is it moving you toward God? Is it moving you away from God? That's another, it's not, I wouldn't say an easy test, because there can be multiple, like you can have multiple choices that could move you toward God. You just have to figure out, through prayer and discernment, which of those He would have you do. Which does your friend Jesus want you to do?
Yeah.
So He's a good consulter.
Maybe I think we have an empty chair here. I think that's where Jesus is right now.
No,
sure He is. He's right here.
We left that for Elijah.
Elijah.
Did we leave it for Elijah?
It's a comment.
Okay.
It's a Passover.
Remark. Well, I know
Yes,
the
we can
process.
leave
Is Mike being irrelevant?
Most of me on this podcast is irrelevant and irreverent.
I was just going to say irrelevant. I think you mean irreverent.
I'm both.
Don, I want to ask, do we have time for the 3 questions? Or
We haven't done it in a while, but sure, go ahead.
Sure. Well, I think it would be great.
Now 3 questions.
We have not talked about. Yeah, we started.
Do you have 3 questions?
Yeah. If
You really? You mean you came with 3 questions?
I did not, but as
You've been percolating about 3
percolated. Thank you. For any of you new to the show, in our early years, can we say our early years?
In the early episodes.
In the early episodes, season 1 and season 2.
I don't even think we did in season 2.
Season 1. Yeah. Season 1, we had the 3 questions to end the show, and I'm curious, Donna. So the first question is, if what would be your perfect day?
Oh, my perfect day?
Wait, is this a dating app that we're working on?
He didn't say date, he said day.
Day.
I know, but that's a kind of question that used to be on those video messaging things, like video love lines. Like, describe your perfect day, and then you go out and date somebody. I'm having flashbacks to the '80s right now in video dating. I'm sorry. Continue.
Perfect day,
Donna.
Perfect day starts with sunrise on the beach. Starts with that. Then there would be all of my favorite foods.
First of all, you're on the East Coast, so you don't have a sunrise. Oh, yeah, you do. That's right.
I'm sorry. Do you have any idea where you live?
I forgot about that. I got sunset and sunrise confused for a second. I'm sorry.
He's just trying to derail the conversation, Pete.
It is true. I am trying to do that.
So, it's a sunrise walk on the beach. It's a nice breakfast with my husband. Nice walk with the dog. My favorite foods are woven throughout the entire day. Macaroni and cheese, pizza, crab. All of those of my favorite foods. Chocolate, routinely, throughout the day. Dark, preferably. Right? Books. Books and more books. Just as many books as I can actually have time to read. So I love books. So, yeah. Those are kind of the elements of my favorite day. I'm not sure it's answering your question.
That flows perfectly into the second question.
Oh, well, I hope I'm ready.
Do you have a favorite book? Or what are you currently reading? I guess you have choice of the 2.
Reading? I am actually reading a book called The Last Homily, which I cannot write at the moment. Pull the priest's name, but he ran the big Catholic center in Washington, D.C., and it was while he was sick and on hospice. I think her name is Mary Ingerstadt, I think is the author's name. And she sat with him, asked his permission, and sat with him and talked to him.
The Last Homily, Conversations with Father Arne Panula?
That's it.
Okay.
What's the author's name?
Hold on, I'm looking for it. Give me a second.
Okay.
Hold on. The author is Mary Eberstadt.
Eberstadt, okay. Yes. I'm reading that. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. Really beautiful. I think he was 40-some, maybe 50 years a priest. Beautiful. He passed away of cancer last year, and she sat with him. She asked him questions. She recorded some of it. And anything that's published in this book, like, she let him read. You know, it's a beautiful book on the faith and his faithfulness as a priest. Just beautiful. Wow. Really a beautiful book.
I have to check that book out.
Only $11 on Amazon.
Okay, now we're plugging.
Yeah, I know.
We're plugging Mary's book.
If you want to download it to your Kindle, $12.87.
Okay. Yeah. She's done a really beautiful job in terms of capturing him and beyond just his direct quotes. You know, it's just really, I've learned a lot. I'm only in the very beginning, first couple chapters, but I love this book. So that's what I'm reading.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I got to check that out. Mm-hmm. And the last question, do you have a, well, I know your favorite saint. Do you have a favorite prayer?
Do I have a favorite prayer? I do the Angelus. And I do that morning consecration. And what I did, I went on a pilgrimage a little over 2 years ago, actually. Father Hughes was the pilgrimage leader. And we were going to Fatima and Lourdes. And so in order to be as ready for that as I could, I was reading Father Apostoli's book on Fatima. And
Andrew
Apostoli's book. And there's a prayer in there that I believe the angel taught the three children. You know, my God, I believe, I adore, I hope, and I love thee. My God, please grant pardon to those who do not believe, who do not adore, do not hope, and do not love thee. And so I love that because I can pray like it tells me what I believe, my belief in God, and also asking for pardon for those who do not. And there are so many of them who do not yet. And there's still hope.
You know, Donna, you and I have been working together for the last 10 months. Fairly closely, I would say. And
always had my back, mostly, Mike, when you're not making fun of me, I have to say.
I always have your back, but I will make fun of you.
Yeah.
And I think that as people in the diocese, I probably know you better than most.
Right, probably.
I have been certain from the beginning that you were the right person for A, this job as Director of Missionary Discipleship, and B, to head the steering committee for the Convocation. But I got to tell you, this podcast alone, it's like I'm sitting here going, "Oh, thank God Donna's here," because it's nice. True. I think you bring exactly what an event like this and a position like that needs, which is an authentic appreciation for faith in all of its forms. And the capacity that Catholics have inherently to do more if just properly motivated. Mm-hmm. You know, so Don, thank you very much for listening to the Holy Spirit and praying about it and talking to Father Hughes.
I did pray about it. I prayed before I took this job. I'm one of those.
You are.
But thanks, Mike.
No, this has been great. And thank you very, very much for listening, everybody. And Pete, have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too, Mike. Be safe, everybody. Stay warm.